Who do you think is going to win? Just give me a Chelsea or Man City.
From this game, I don't know. I'll go Chelsea.
I listened to you last week, and you actually said, obviously, the Man City Leeds game. And when you was doing your analysis on that, you went, if there's one team that Man City wouldn't want to be playing, would be Leeds after playing midweek.
Thanks for bringing it up, Harry.
20
quid's coming your way.
But when Leeds went down to 10 men, you just thought, oh no, that's that one gone.
Yes. I mean, I got lucky there, but I think for City that was a tough one after the Champions League. But I've had a look at John Stones here because he's having a great season. You know, he's getting a lot of plaudits. Rightly so, a centre-half partnership with Ruben Dias. So have a really good look at him, you know, because he's a player who obviously Pep really like. Look, he plays the Pep way. He's got a defender with a lot of space in behind him. Wants a ball-playing centre-back to go and build the play. He's come in and played right-side centre-back, which is sort of means Dias has moved over to left centre-back. They complement each other so well. Dias a little bit quicker, you know, but John's got the frame for it. He's got the mentality, talking about, you know, he's out for a long time, not playing football, overlooked in the Champions League, you know, on the bench when they were playing Lyon with the back three and stuff. He's got back in the team and he's been really composed, really composed. But I have had a look back because with John, it's always going to be thrown at him about his mistakes. Yeah. You know, so you go back to the one a few years ago against Holland in the Nations League, right? He made a couple of errors there, even for the third goal. When he played a straight ball into sort of Ross Barkley, he lost the lick for the header, as we know. He's then, for example, for Man City against Norwich last season, playing a terrible ball to Otamendi, got done in behind from being really high. So it's not a kind of one-off. And then he obviously had the mistake for against Poland. And I guess it comes back to, you know, is he kind of eradicating those mistakes to perform at that level? For England, will he face more challenges than for Man City, for example? But a couple of games, even looking at the Leeds game, I think he could have done a little bit better for both goals. I thought he didn't really see the run quickly enough. Has he got the pace of Dias? Probably not. Laporte's sort of not really figuring at this moment in time, but Laporte is a natural left centre-back, whereas Dias is favourably on the right. And why is Laporte not starting? So what was the trigger to drop Laporte? And I had a good look back. There's only a couple of times, and it's because I don't think Laporte, a couple of times, didn't play how Pep wants to play. So I think it was Spurs in particular where Kane was coming off, receiving in loads of pockets.
Following him.
No one was following in. He does defend Laporte with his sort of hands behind his back, worrying about shots hitting his arms and things. But you look at Stones and Dias, they're out, up to the ball, blocking things. So there's a couple of little triggers, I guess, why Stones got his chance. And look, he has taken it. Yeah. He has really taken it, and he seems confident, he seems happy, redeemed himself against England, didn't he, with the little header back from Maguire. But ironically, I'm not too sure he started.
Do you know, he said like confidence and like seems happy. He had some quite well documented problems off the pitch, didn't he? And that little period of time where his form was quite erratic, wasn't it? That makes a massive difference to a player when you've got stability in your personal life. That makes a big difference playing on a pitch.
And do you know what as well? When you're not playing, but Perry knows, if you're not playing, it gives you time on the training ground. And he's spoken about the time on the training ground to work on his game. And look, people say, well, he's 26 or whatever, he's 27.
Still keep working.
You still keep working and improving. And his distribution, obviously we all know about. No one distributes the ball as well, whether it's short, long, pockets. No one dribbles into the opposition half, than like anyone else. But I guess what some sides do is go on then, you have it. See if you can hurt us. And if you don't and you give it away, we're going to hit you in behind. And that's where they really need Dias, because they didn't have Dias against Leeds. And I think they missed that pace in behind. Fernandinho couldn't quite keep up with Dallas, etc. But look, he's having a stellar season. He really is. And he's put himself... You've got to remember, he wasn't in the squad for, a year for England? So straight back in. Played the games and barring that one error, was performed really, really well.
I think with John Stones is he was having too many individual mistakes. He was maybe losing concentration every other game, right? So this one against Poland was the real sort of standout mistake, and that comes down to just a little bit of lack of concentration. And I think that's what he's got to improve. If it's one mistake, the way that he plays and the risk that he takes, and the way that Guardiola wants him to play, the way that Southgate will want you to play out from the back, you're going to make mistakes, but you just got to make sure that they don't get punished to the severity what John Stones' mistakes have been punished in the past. So he might have been a bit unlucky on that, where people were scoring, but he's just got to make sure that he's fully focused for that 90 minutes, because Man City have been dominating game. they wear teams down, don't they? They just grind you down with their passing. So he's got to make sure that he's always got to be thinking, what if? What if it breaks down there? What if I have to get it in that position? And I think he's done it better, but at the moment I still think you'd think that he's still got that one in him.
It's a couple of things as well. He has lost people on crosses coming in the box.
Concentration again.
He does scan really well, seeing what's around him. I think against Haaland, he was caught sort of facing the wrong way. To me, he should have been facing outside, but he was facing inside, and then he had to spin, and then he lost Haaland for the goal. So there's a couple. Look, we're talking. You got to go into real to pick the little pieces, but that is exactly what Pep will be doing. And Pep has shown he's been ruthless before, right, in terms of leaving Stones out. It wouldn't surprise me if, for example, Laporte's fit, if he started this cup semi, wouldn't surprise me at all, because he has given them all a go and gone on then. What have you got? But I think credit to him, because he could have easily gone under,
Well, this is what I was going to just mention, because if you think people were talking about and speculating about his future, it seemed as though he's being discarded. It seemed as though his future was going to be elsewhere for Manchester City, but he has come through and is now reaping the rewards by starting more often than not.
Yeah, but the other thing I'd say on him, the only time you can see him getting done is if he, a bit like Perry's saying, if he plays exactly what like Pep wants to play, right, and following players all day. Against Chelsea, followed Mason Mount all the way in, and there was no need to, and they got done in behind by running who crossed, Havertz crossed for Hudson-Odoi at the back post. And you think at times, okay, play like Pep, but then use your nous, and they do, and the two centre halves, I think him and Diaz are terrific, but I don't know whether Laporte and Diaz is the better pairing and the more balanced pairing.
Okay, it's going to be a fascinating encounter, Chelsea against Manchester City. You were asking David for who he thought was going to win. What about you then, Perry? How do you see this one playing out?
Man City. It'd be interesting to see both teams could play with no centre forwards, couldn't they? Because that's how Tuchel's gone just lately. Like Havertz plays not an out-and-out centre forward. Pep's done it. He'll go 4-3-3, so it'd be interesting to see if Tuchel matches him up 4-3-3 or still sticks with his three at the back. There's loads of little bit of tactical stuff that's going to be quite interesting.
Whoever wins is probably going to be the favourite, right, in the final.
I think Man City just Man City because of the rotation that Pep's. I think a lot of his players are fresher. So I think they're just on the man, just wavering towards Man City.
I mean, it's a brutal season. We saw that with Bayern in terms of the Champions League. The volume of games they're all playing. So it's going to be whether they mix whether he changes his shape or what he does.
He'll make five changes. Pep, well, he's done that regularly, isn't he? 4 or 5 changes, and everybody said, "Oh, you changed too many against Leeds." But you think no, it's worked like all season, and it's been. He doesn't change the system as much anymore. It's nearly always 4-3-3, whether it's with a centre forward or without a centre forward. So that's given them a continuity. Players come in, know their jobs and they know the function.
The other thing on John Stones is I did see him play holding midfielder for Man City against Oxford. He's played that a couple of times.
He's got the passing range.
Right, he's got the passing range, and you just think, right, if City ever changed to a 3, he obviously could perform in the 3, but City haven't really worked that well in a 3. Or could he be that next one that plays as a holding midfielder? But I think that takes a little bit of work. We've seen Pep do that before in terms of turning centre mids into centre backs, whether a centre back could then go and play in the
Did it with Philip
midfield.
Lam at Munich as well.
Yeah.
He's from a left back, turned him into a holding midfield player.
But he has tried him. He tried him against Oxford, and it was okay. But it's a completely different game. Suddenly you need to have your eyes sort of 360 degrees rather than sort of 180. But you wouldn't put it past Pep.
Well, it is going to be interesting, and it is live on talkSPORT 5:30. That one gets underway.